Alrighty. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. Before we begin, please like the video. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button and welcome to the community. Glad to have you. Now, let's carry on. All right. So first things first, you did end up having the hourly close over this downtrending channel. So that is something to take note of. I'm going to bring us back to what we were pointing out yesterday, which was this CCI is in the same spot that you've had pretty much all of these significant bounces. So you've had the last 1, 2, 3 significant bounces all the way back to 315. So I was wondering, is this going to be the fourth one? I don't know if it is going to be. All right. We're going to have to see what happens here at the top. But now I'm going to take this off the chart and I'm going to bring you over to something that I noticed this morning. All right. So this was shared this morning. I do want to point this out. Last time, we're talking 18 out of 21 times over here, occurrences. This is not just in an uptrend. This is in a downtrend as well. You're taking into this August 2022 downtrend and over here into account on these occurrences, all right? And yes, it is a total of 10 months here. So a lot of data we're looking at. But yeah, 18 out of 21 times you have had a bounce of 1 to 2% even before going lower. Well, it's been anywhere from 1 to 13%. That's what this condition has brought on you. But even on the bounces in which you went lower, you typically got a 1 to 2% move. So we have satisfied that condition as of right now. So I don't know what's going to be happening. We are stalling out right now at resistance. But it was something I wanted to bring up here. You did end up breaking down over here on QQQ, but I was pointing out yesterday that, hey, all right, we have oscillators on the 4-hour time frame suggesting we either get a bounce here or we go slightly lower and get that bounce. And if we were to go a little lower, you were going to see this thing come into oversold territory, and you were going to see SPYs come into oversold territory right at this August high, which was very likely going to end up giving you that bounce. Now, we did end up bouncing before. We pointed out we had this wedge over here on the hourly time frame. All right, we did end up getting the breakout, and I do actually want to, we got the breakout and the back test, I want to point out. You can see that clearly right there. All right, I do want to point out, you had this triple bullish divergence going on here on the hourly RSI on SPY, and then you come over here to SPX. So this is also something I noticed this morning, which was right here. You had a triple bullish divergence on the 15-minute, and then also, I mean, it's the same divergence, but on the 30-minute time frame, you can see here. As we were forming this wedge. At the time, we didn't have this top touch point. We are just about to break out of this, so we are going to have to see what happens. Maybe we'll see it intra-video here, but you're looking for a 15-minute close above this trend line. If not, like, hey, you have risk of coming all the way back down here, and that's not something you want to see if you are in calls at the current time. If you do end up doing so, and let's just say SPY doesn't bounce on this upper trend line again, you can watch that on the hourly time frame, then yeah, we are probably going to come down to the August high where there is an extremely high likelihood that buyers are going to hold the line. I pointed out over here on QQQ yesterday, if you do not bounce here, all right, like on SPY, if you don't bounce here, you're going to go down to the August high. And just like on QQQ, all right, I'm sorry, that was sloppy. Just like on QQQ, you are very likely going to see, you know, how sellers held the line over here, up here at this top resistance. You're very likely to see buyers hold the line over here at this August high. All right. Same principles we are working off of right there. Plus, we did have two 85% probabilities that we would be seeing a green day today. So that was something. Well, we had one signal yesterday from the VIX because the VIX closed red alongside SPY. Or SPX is the actual signal. And then we had the one from the previous trading session also with VIX closing red alongside SPX. So we knew we had an increased likelihood of a green day here on SPY. I did call that out in yesterday's Webull updates. Guys, if you're not following along with the Webull updates, I do suggest if you are going to pay attention to these, you might as well get the info in one consolidated format. Like, yeah, you get the video version over here, but you get the written format over there with pictures you get to look at every single night. And guess what? That's done after, like, you know, in after hours or when after hours are closed. So you'll have all the data that I am taking a look at. And then, yeah, you get to see the full picture continuously. All right. So the next thing I will point out is over here on Bitcoin. You do have a bull flag. All right. So I originally did have this thing painted as right here. All right, this was my pretty picture we had going on, and I was noting that you were literally mounting the resistance right here that we were paying attention to. And the next resistance after that is going to be all the way up here, 3% up. All right. So I was pointing out in yesterday's video that Mara and Riot, I wouldn't be doing that, but I did point out that Riot has not pumped to the extent that Mara did. And you were in this bull flag over here on the daily time frame on Riot with this increasing volume. All right, so I'm going to bring you guys over here to Mara. I didn't end up taking advantage of this. All right, you can see, you know, that's a decent move right there. But regardless, I mean, hey, you had no way that was, you didn't know. All right, but you had the increasing volume yesterday. I want to point out these 2 days of increasing buy volume. All right, the last time we had that was this over here. You didn't have this big fat red volume candlestick, but you did have this right here, right into resistance. Well, it wasn't resistant at that time. All right, this is just the top of our range. But then you had a cool off day, and then from the close of that day, you did go on to run another 25%. So it would be looking like, hey, from the close of here, all right, 25%. That's a decent ways away. All right, can we point out any resistance? Yeah, right here. All right, so if you do end up breaking out over here on Mara, then you probably are going to be pushing on up here. Just would be my guess. All right, so you know, just something to keep in mind. All right, if Bitcoin does end up exploding from here, which it very much so can. All right, you do see buyers are back in the move here. You know, watch this resistance up there. If you do it though, Mara and Riot can go on another run. I know they both are heavily shorted, especially Mara. All right, so just wanted to point that out. Next thing I'll point out is over here on IWM. IWM is literally just grinding inside of this falling wedge right here. I know my lines have changed. I don't know why those changed, but it actually should be right here. Just connecting all of these bottom wicks right there. And guess what? That also changed the top one right there. So we're going to have to see which way this breaks out. My guess is it's going to end up breaking up. But yeah, guys, I mean, you're going, I told you guys, if you broke down from here, if you got the 4-hour close from over here, it's very likely that you go level to level here. You are getting buyers stepping up right here, just like you did over here. If you do break down, guys, I have to assume you're going to get buyers over here. But my guess is this thing is going to break up. You can clearly see buyers are trying to hold the line here. So, you know, just something to pay attention to. If you want, you don't have to pay attention to it. All right. All right. So I think that is pretty much it. All right. Let's just point out some simple resistance here. All right. Because someone in the Weeple comments yesterday was like, oh, price action is king. Obviously, price action is king. All right. Indicators are literally just there to show us to pretty much pair with price action. All right. The past few weeks, I've strictly been focusing on price action. That's exactly what we're paying attention to here. Screw the indicators. All right. I'm just going to point this out. We're going to come over to the hourly time frame. All right. I'm sorry. We got all these white lines. They, you know, for my trading, it's necessary. Well, not necessary, but you know, I like to see them. So we're going to keep them on there. But I do want to point out this zone right here. All right. I just want to point out these whipsaw moves that you got going on through this. You go through this zone like butter. And this zone goes all the way from just about 436 all the way up to just about 438. All right, I want to point out, boom, big move down, big move up pretty quick. Big move down pretty quick, big move up pretty quick. All right, over here, big move down pretty quick, big move up pretty quick. Boom, you moved down pretty quick right there, and you never came back up. All right, so, you know, if you do start moving and grooving, which it does look like you are, I have to assume that you're probably going to move pretty quick through the zone. And if we don't, you know, end up moving to the zone, we're going to have to come, you know, we're going to be watching down here if we start, you know, doing something like this. All right, you start coming up, maybe you get rejection like you did over here. Well, you know, we don't have any tests at that level yet. We're literally just watching for it. That was the other day's high. I actually do want to point this out. Again, sorry for the messiness here. Let's just clean that up just a teensy bit, all right? I do want to point out that over here, all right? So this was Tuesday's low of day, and you are continuously getting bounces off of this level. So, or reactions, I should say, off this level. So maybe you want to put that on your chart. There you go. All right. But yeah, if we do end up coming up this line and it turns into a double top, and let's just say you come like that, all right, and get back out of the zone, then once you're right here, I do have to assume you're probably going to end up coming back down here, and we're going to look for a double bottom down there. If not, guys, I really do think you're probably going to see buyers, like a strong amount of buyers, step in here at this August high, which is anywhere from 430 all the way up to 432. That is where I personally want to try out a decent sized long there. Because, you know, even if you don't push back up the highs, guys, you still are likely to get a decent sized move coming out of that zone. All right. Plus, I do want to point out you have this gap fill. Again, sorry for the mess, but you have this gap fill right here at the low of 438.97. We could put that on the chart right here, 438.97. There you go. All right. We'll make that nice and pretty for us, nice and green. Boom, bob, bing, boom, pow. So yeah, if you do end up coming above this resistance, then the next stop is probably going to be around that gap fill. So decent sized move is possible here to the upside. And yeah, all right, guys, I will catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed the video, if you found value in the video, if you found anything that you didn't do on your own here in this video, please leave a like. I would heavily appreciate it. And the algo, I'm serious, would heavily appreciate it. Please also leave a comment if you feel the, if you feel like you want to help out, please leave a comment. They definitely also do help. Let's get this video out to more people. Let's do it, and peace.